There we go.
Woo.
All right.
This bubbles got right to me.
All right. I think we might be live right this second. So
Oh, okay.
A moment because I'm going to get the link so that we can actually share it
it.
places. But just on the off chance, hello, everybody.
Hi, guys.
I'm Will.
I'm Kristen.
We are recording a live episode of our comedy horror podcast, Guide to the Unknown.
That's right.
I'm going to mute these so that nobody can hear us.
Welcome.
That's a cool Effie Trinket
Thanks, Will.
impression that you're doing in the year 2018.
Thanks for seeing me.
You know, they do periodically just like random polls of people, and something that I saw on the internet was these are the franchises that that the average consumer wants Hollywood to reboot.
Yeah. The Hunger Games?
Hunger Games,
Are
right
you
in there.
Serious?
Yeah, near the top too.
What the hell?
Wrong page.
They just came out like a few years ago.
I know. It's inexplicable.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Can't you see it though? Can't you kind of envision like? I always said that what
Can
they should
envision
do,
anything.
just go with like the simplest thing and just show the first Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Like a reboot doesn't mean that you have to do the exact same story.
Right. Oh, you're saying like do it like it's real life, like it would be on their TVs? Is that what you mean?
What?
Well, what do you mean just show the first Hunger Games?
I mean, like the movie should be about the time that they first held the first ever Hunger Games.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I was thinking you were talking about the first movie, and you meant like the fact that they're put on TV. Just like show what they see on TV.
What? As if they're the viewers in the districts?
What? No, like as if we were the viewers in the districts. Like a movie that's just what we would see on TV if we were watching the Hunger Games living there. It doesn't matter.
I find the concept confusing, but it might be revolutionary.
Yeah.
I can't tell. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, guys.
And Eric, yo, what's going on?
Awesome.
Yeah, get spooky before D&D. That's the way it's meant to be.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're going to be doing the show in just a few minutes. We want to make sure, because we're only doing it on YouTube recently, want to give everybody a couple minutes to be able to get in here and jump in the chat, make sure that people know that we're actually doing this. We're going to post in a couple of places.
Right.
Yeah, Michelle's asking you too. So we would be watching the Hunger Games as if it were really happening.
Okay, so you know how in the book and movie The Hunger Games, the people who are not participating in the Hunger Games, it's basically forced to be on their TVs.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying just show us what they would be seeing on their TVs,
right,
as if we were in the role of the person just watching it.
So we're seeing the propaganda. We're seeing the...
Right.
Yeah,
that's what I thought you were
gotcha.
saying. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really weird, too. Like, all the world building would be...
Well, there'd be commercials and stuff.
Fake commercials.
Yeah.
I like that.
Look, I'll take all the Caesar Flickerman I can get.
I know.
So I guess I'm fine with it. And also, hi, Michelle.
He'd be the one thing that I'd want in the reboot to remain the same.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I remember when they were doing the new Spider-Man movies, they were like, well, we're keeping, just so that we're all clear.
Right, we're keeping J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, because he was perfect. Right?
Right.
It is funny that, like, nationwide, we all held hands.
Yeah, we were like J.K. Simmons stays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not going any, and then he did.
Right.
He was Commissioner Gordon.
Right.
It was weird.
Yeah, very confusing.
Yeah, so that he could be in two scenes.
Kind
where
of
he's
similar.
Like, huh,
Yeah.
Batman.
Right.
Yeah, I want the Spider-Man.
You're like, what?
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 Where
Why
am
are
I?
you? Why did you bother being in this? You're barely in it.
It's just confusing.
Yeah, we're gonna post everywhere right now, everybody, so that people know that we
Yeah.
are in fact live.
Yeah.
And then we'll be talking to the show. But how are you all doing? How was the
Yeah.
past week? Is there any spooky sponging that you've been doing?
Yeah.
I will say I watched Red Dragon this afternoon.
Yep.
I was doing a little bit of work, and I wanted to be in the spooky mood, so I put
Mm-hmm.
on Red Dragon. And right away, something caught
so
my
funny.
eye. I was really into a dinner party that was happening at the beginning of the movie. Hannibal Lecter has just killed a flautist.
Right.
And then he's
Famous flautist killer Hannibal Lecter has done his worst.
and then he's having a dinner party with everybody from the like symphony board. Who cares? Whatever.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like,
Hi, Tracy.
Hannibal, your soirees are always the event of the season. But please tell me what's in this dish. And he goes, oh, well, I'm sorry. If I told you that, I'd be afraid you wouldn't eat it. And everyone laughs as if that's a normal thing to say.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Hannibal. And then,
Having such fun.
and then there's one guy who goes, can I confess something wicked?
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
I can't help but be, well, the least bit relieved. let's not kid ourselves. The man's playing was less than stellar. And I was like, this guy is wonderful. And then I realized, as I was staring at this man on my screen, I got up out of my chair and I creeped ever closer to the screen to get a closer look at him. Played by John Rubinstein.
William, you were being so loud.
I'm very energetic right now, but brace yourselves. I refuse to stop or calibrate.
Just take it down one notch.
We'll see.
Okay.
Played by John Rubinstein.
Yeah.
Who plays Walter Anderson on my show, Blackwood.
I know. That's amazing.
Couldn't believe it.
That's so cool.
It was so exciting.
And what a nice thing to be like, who is this guy? He's great. And then you're like, wait a second. I know this guy.
I know that guy. I love that guy.
Yeah.
John Rubinstein. He's awesome. And
of course.
He absolutely had like a spotlight on him in the beginning of that movie. It was really great.
That's awesome. I know who you're talking about now that you said the line.
Oh, boy. Just being able to have a career where you have the line, can I confess something wicked?
Yeah, can I confess something wicked?
Man.
That's all you need.
If nothing else ever happened again after that,
yeah,
you've done it all.
Absolutely.
Is there anything left to do?
Screw an Oscar.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, it's me, Will.
And me, Kristen.
And we are live right now on youtube.com/TalkBomb. We're doing a new spooky episode of our horror comedy podcast, Guide to the Unknown. That one maybe looks a little bit better. But yeah, you should absolutely come in here. We got people in the chat talking to us. You could be one of them.
Yeah.
It's a spooky good time. youtube.com/TalkBomb. We'll see you there.
Yay.
Bingo. That's a little bit how they do it on like talk shows where they like do the affiliate bumpers.
Yeah.
Where they're just like, hey, Edna and Abner from Colorado's KBN 12 News. Stay on after the news.
Right. Wait, how is that like this?
Because they do.
Because they're also talking to a camera?
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Sorry, it might be. I didn't think I was hyper, but maybe I am.
You definitely are.
I had no idea. I was not anticipating this.
You were storing it up. Hey guys, we're going live right now. We're on youtube.com/TalkBomb doing the newest episode of Guide to the Unknown, so join us there.
It's not one of the old ones. It's all brand new material.
I'm not going to cut.
Oh, my God.
Right.
All right. Kristen and I are live on YouTube. Come hang out and see the newest episode of Guide to the Unknown happen live in front of you. Cool. I think we should be good.
Cool.
Let's just check in with our friends here.
Mm-hmm.
Tragedy of the world building. Eric said about doing Hunger Games that way.
Oh, yeah.
The tragedy of the world building to go with the wonder of the revolution. I like that, especially because
that's a good idea.
There's something about the Hunger Games that's very Emerald City.
Yeah.
Like from Oz, where everything is sort of indulgent and grandiose and colorful.
Yeah, very much so.
It'd be cool to see that get built up.
Yeah, totally. That's a good idea.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey,
Sarah's
Tracy.
watching the British Bake Off. That's a great show.
Oh, yeah, that show's awesome.
Yeah. Eric says he got to finish Blackwood last night. I hope you liked it.
Oh, nice.
Michelle,
Michelle, you're getting snowed in. Ooh, okay. I hope that's a good thing. Like you're enjoying it and you've got snacks and stuff.
Yeah, getting mushy with it.
Yeah. No. And also, hi, Potential Problems Podcast Network.
Hey, what's
nice
going
to have
on?
you here. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen you all over the place on
for
Twitter.
coming
Thanks for dropping in. We're about to start the show.
And also, Sean's first time for the live show. Hey.
Hey, Sean.
That's awesome.
And hey,
YouTube's where it's
Amber.
at. Amber.
Love these lives on YouTube.
Yes.
Yep. I mean, YouTube's where it's at. We used to be on Facebook. Now we're doing it on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are here. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think without any further ado, we're just going to jump into it. We've done our sharing. We'd greatly appreciate it if you would share the show as well.
That'd be awesome. Get a whole bunch of people in here so you guys can talk to each other while we're talking, because we don't pay attention to the chat while we're recording.
Right,
so
exactly.
The more people in here, the more you guys can talk shit about us while we're doing our show.
And I want to see some real nasty stuff in the chat tonight. Yeah.
Tracy finished Blackwood, loved it. Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm so
right?
glad
I'm
you
glad
liked
you
it.
enjoyed it. That's awesome.
Yeah. And yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and go for it. So,
right,
like
let's do it.
Kristen said, we're not going to talk to the chat so much as we're doing the actual show. If you have to leave at some point or whatever, you don't get to finish the whole thing, it's going to be out on Friday on all major podcast apps and right here on youtube.com/TalkBomb.
Yep.
But we'll also talk to you again at the end. So, yeah, we really hope that you have a good time.
Real quick, Sarah. Yes, we did get the new Dathan Auerbach book. Will read it. I still have not.
Oh, man.
I know.
Yeah. That book was great.
Yeah.
Bad
Man. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
It seems upsetting, and I just haven't been in the mood, if I'm being totally honest.
Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't. I want to read it. I will get around to it.
All right, fair enough.
And Tracy, yeah, American Hysteria rules.
Have
you noticed William
awesome. Yeah.
in it?
He's such a good show.
Have you been in all the episodes now?
All the episodes?
Well, there are 3 episodes.
Uh-huh.
Have you been in all of them? You
No,
did
I'm in
Pat
2.
Robertson, Kellogg. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, no,
I forgot you were doing Pat Robertson, so I was listening to the show, and then I was like, "Pwah!"
It is funny because like I'm not really a
Hey, Laura.
performer or a voice actor, though I guess
I beg to differ, but go ahead.
well, we're performers even just because we're doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so we are performers, but like I don't consider myself like an actor, but straight up in that show, like I'm not really hamming it up. I'm not myself.
Yeah.
You're try
acting.
to sound like those people.
You did a really good job.
Thank you. It's
You're welcome.
very nerve-wracking, and I really enjoy it, and I want to do
Good.
more. Yeah.
Good. That's awesome.
No, it scratches a very
Drew.
similar itch to just being able to talk to the camera like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Drew. Bingo.
Cool.
Okay, everybody. All right, it's showtime.
All right.
Let's do
Adios,
this thing.
muchachos.
Yeah.
As far as it's just talking straight to you.
We'll still see you. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And you're on good time. I do have a segment, by the way.
Okay. Also, are we talking about what's happened to our property?
To our property. If you want, mine's so small.
Oh, okay. We don't have to then.
It's so nonsense.
Okay.
I would just tell it
I
to
thought
you
that
and-
was
and
going to be like the
everyone here.
opening segment.
Oh, no. Like I have
Okay.
an actual segment.
Okay.
But I will just tell you, maybe just for everybody here,
Sure.
for a little extra soup on top.
Yeah.
You know, you ask for a sandwich and you ask them to put soup on top. Anyway.
That great deal where you get a little extra something, which is soup all over your food.
So Kristen and I may be the victims of pranksters.
Yeah.
Merry
Mischief Night
pranksters.
style.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine may have actually happened
I
on
think it probably did.
Mischief Night. I just didn't know it happened and then forgot to
Yeah.
tell you about it. But Kristen's happened just last night.
Somebody put a donut on my windshield. And they put it like right next to the windshield wiper so it can't wipe it away. I have to clean it. I still haven't, by the way.
Ew, you've been driving around with a donut on your windshield all day?
Yeah. It's going to be so gross. I'm really hoping
Was
that
it
an
suction
animal
cupped on right now?
I don't know. I'm really hoping that an animal eats it in the night and then I don't have to deal with it. Tomorrow morning, I have to go get my car inspected. So in a way, it was actually a blessing that this person put this donut on my car, because that's the other thing. I think it was gingerly placed on. Like, this is just like a donut put on a car. It's not like garbage everywhere.
Maybe it was supposed to be a lovely prize.
No, I think it's teenagers being pranksters.
Why? What kind of prank is that to put
I
a donut
don't
on
know. I don't know.
someone's windshield?
High teenagers or something?
Did they know that it would get, bloated and plumpy with morning dew?
Well, that's the other weird thing. So, like, they had to...
It looked sopping wet.
Oh,
Kristen
that's why
posted
I don't
it
want to
on
touch
her
it. That's
Instagram,
so
and it
gross.
appeared to be a desiccated donut corpse.
Yeah, so if you want to go, my Instagram is Chillin' Kristen, and it's in my Insta stories right now. So you can see this donut. Okay, so I went to yoga last night, and I stayed for a sound bath meditation afterward. I didn't come home until, let's say, 9:30.
Yeah.
There wasn't a donut on my car then. It was raining, and it rained like all night.
Yeah.
And then I went outside to my car about 9 this morning. So between 9 p.m. last night and 9 a.m., in the rain, somebody placed a donut on my windshield. Why? For what purpose?
Maybe they were walking their dog. They were
Right.
eating a morning donut. They put it down, forgot to pick it back up. Fido
It was not bitten into at all.
finally went to the bathroom.
They were going to pick it up from my dirty windshield to eat it.
Maybe they're gross.
No, well, there are gross people. But yeah, so that's the situation. And so I didn't realize that my car has to be inspected by the end of the month, by Friday. And so the donut actually drew my attention to the sticker.
Oh, that's great.
It didn't occur to me at all. So now I'm going tomorrow morning. So in a way,
That was your guardian angel.
I know. In a way, the donut was really a blessing because it just didn't occur to me at all.
Yeah.
But it's still disgusting. I'm really hoping that
Wow.
like a squirrel eats it.
Yeah, that's like magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I brought it.
I bet a
brought
squirrel
it
will
to
eat,
me.
by the way. We threw
I
our
don't
pumpkins
know.
off the side of the porch
Yeah.
to let the squirrels eat it.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, how come they're not
Bunch
eating my
of-
donut? It's been there all day. I was really hoping I'd come out of work and the donut would be gone.
Maybe they're hoping it'll dry out. Maybe they don't want a sopping wet.
So here's the thing. I'm also
Drowning
kind of
victim
hoping
of
either
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think you might be right. I'm really either hoping that A, somehow it dries out, B, it's really cold tonight and it kind of freezes. So then I can just pry it off of my windshield and it just pops off cleanly rather than it being donut slop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good theory. Let me know how that works out for you.
Thank you. I'm going to do it because I don't want to bring my car to inspection with a wet donut on it tomorrow.
I hope you touch it with your bare hands.
There's absolutely no way. I already decided I'm going to use a spatula.
I hope that you
So I can be as far away as possible and just try to like knock it off. 'Cause I'm afraid I'm going to fling it at myself somehow. Does that seem like something that would happen?
Oh, yeah.
I know. That's part of why I haven't touched it yet. That would be so gross. It's so wet.
I hope that you go to pick it up with the spatula, and when you pick it up, it sort of falls in that gap beneath the hood.
Oh, God.
And like the windshield wipers, and the spatula is too big for it, so you have to use your hands.
I will
hope you
not.
end up in a situation where the only thing you can do is a 2-finger pinch.
I don't give one tiny crap. I will not. I don't care if that gets inside my car and gugs up the works. There's absolutely no way I'm touching that donut with my hands.
I hope it touches your bare skin
way.
somehow. I hope it falls on your foot.
I was afraid it was going to touch my pants even. I'm terrified.
Well, mine certainly is less fun, but it's just as merry.
Yeah, lots of fun.
I didn't realize. Allie told me she thinks our house got egged. It's our first year living in this house. We bought a house in this nice neighborhood, and
apparently not.
Her office faces the street.
Yeah,
like her home office, and she was like, "Yeah, I think we got egged." And then I just happened to like a day later, she was working in her office. I went in to talk to her, and the window is all
quick
smeared.
aside, what's Allie's office?
It's the
room upstairs, the sewing room?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what nook or cranny have I not explored?
And it looks like it's covered with yucky, drippy egg whites.
Oh, my God.
I think someone got a bangarang bullseye and slammed
what
that
the
window.
Hell?
Yeah, with one of Eggland's best. It's the only thing I can figure out.
I gotta tell you, I've had neighbor problems everywhere I've lived here. I mean, maybe people always have neighbor problems everywhere, but
everybody does.
My neighbors at our apartment now have been a real pain in the ass. They've thrown me into rages before.
Yeah. Oh, we got another segment that we're definitely going to do.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Cool. 2 cents horror story.
Yep, we're doing it.
Awesome.
All
right, let's do it.
Eric, for sending these in.
Thank you.
How good that's up. It's wonderful. Okay. All right, why don't we do the show? Here we go.
Cool.
We got a couple of segments here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'll try to keep them nice and tight.
Cool.
Okay. And thank you, Eric.
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
In your own
I didn't read it yet.
Time.
Okay.
All right.
Hello. Welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
I'm William.
Let's get scared.
Yeah, we
William,
got a lot
terrify
to get through.
me. Yeah.
Every week on the show, Kristen and I research topics from the wide world of horror, sit down to share them with each other and you. The show comes out every Friday on all major podcast apps and youtube.com/talkbomb.
Mm-hmm.
Now, sometimes the topics that we look up aren't entirely deserving of their own expanded segments. And when that happens, it's time for Bite-Sized Monster Madness.
That's right.
Now, this week on the show, I'm here to talk to you all about something of a strange fiend. You might even call it
I love the word fiend.
A monster hunter, somebody who shines a light in the darkness. Because this week, everybody, let's talk about Chrissy.
Me?
Yeah. As this show comes out, it is Friday, November 30th, and it is Kristen Rogers Anderson's birthday.
William,
Our fearless leader. Looking quite fearful in the image that I put on the YouTube version.
My God. I look like a little boy. I look like Conan playing a character.
I picked the best picture of you I could find. Every other picture of you is worse. This is the best one.
That's amazing.
No, I just wanted to say happy birthday, Chrissy.
Thank you.
Because I love you.
I love you too.
And because
Thank
I couldn't believe that this show is coming out on one of the most high holy days that we
That's right.
have.
On my satanic calendar, it's the
Yes.
biggest holiday.
Absolutely.
I've told Ryan that fact, let's say twice in the last 4 days.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
he's loving it.
He's done with it.
Oh, he's loving it.
I didn't even realize, though. It's not me trying to be funny where I keep doing a thing over and over again. It was only on the second or maybe third time that I said that. I was like, have I said that to you recently? And he was like, yep. He was just like rolling with it.
Yep, you sure have.
Yeah.
Confirmed. Yes. But yeah, wherever you are out there, if you're listening in the car, pull that sucker over. If you're at work, everybody fire off a message, a DM, a tweet, whatever, at Chillin' Kristen and let this sucker know to have a happy birthday.
Thank you. Slide into my DMs.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. And go on YouTube and look at this picture of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's bonkers.
Well, what can you do? And then we've got some other business to take care of because last year we started a little bit of a ritual that's actually kind of grim.
Yeah.
This is our first show post Black Friday.
That's right.
1 year ago at our humble beginnings. This is in like episode 6 or 7 of the show. We talked about Black Friday, explained some of the origin, and found out about this website, blackfridaydeathcount.com. Now, when we were looking at it last year, we checked to see where the tally was for 2017. It was at 10 deaths, 111 injuries. So just checking in 365 days later, there have been 2 deaths and 6 more injuries.
Yikes.
So honestly, they're miserable, and I'm going to put this away right now.
Yeah.
It's only because I like tradition and I'm curious, and I think we all treat the idea of Black Friday as that day when people are trampled on their way to the hottest new Elmo.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this, honestly, as much a bummer as the stories are, I'm not going to tell you about the misery stories that are in here.
I'd also this is a bummer, but I'm just going to say it. Like just mentioned, we think of them as being tramplings at stores and everything.
Yeah.
These are like almost all shootings.
Oh, it's horrible.
There's and if you are so inclined and you're into this kind of stuff, there is an organization that I really like. I know somebody who works with them, and so I kind of know some of the stuff they do. It's momsdemandaction.org if you're interested in gun safety laws.
Oh.
As we're recording, it is Giving Tuesday.
Okay.
I didn't post it. I just didn't get around to it. But like if you want to give on this Tuesday, if you happen to be with us live or if you're listening later, Moms Demand Action is a really, really good, solid gun safety organization with a good action plan that you can look at and understand where your money is going.
Cool. Right on.
And it seems like shootings are the new Black Friday trampling.
I
They're
know.
the new everything, really.
Well, trampling was never even really a thing. Like, this is
Yeah,
going
yeah.
back to the recorded beginning of Black Friday. Not as many as you would think based on the word of mouth that goes around.
Yeah.
So almost to, like,
Probably just because it's
demystify.
weird. You know what I
It is
mean?
weird.
Like, so it stands out more.
Yeah, yeah. But almost to demystify the idea that Black Friday is that day when everybody gets stomped on.
Yeah.
Not quite the case.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And then our final bit of business before we get into our topics, as usual, occasionally we ask you out there to send us your 2-sentence horror stories. And guess what? Keeping up the tradition, Eric in the chat posted one literally as we were going live because we record the show live every week. Pay attention to @GTTU pod to find out when, how, why, whatever. And so I'm going to read you this story written by Eric.
Cool.
As we walked to school, my brother and I couldn't stop talking about the Blackwood finale. It was nice that we were on speaking terms again since his funeral.
Ooh, Eric, you're really good at like throwing these out there on the fly.
Eric nails it.
Because he did this, if you remember the last time we did 2-sentence horror story, it was the exact same deal where he just like fired it off real quick in our live chat. Thank you, Eric.
Oh.
That's excellent.
I remember. It was wonderful.
Oh.
Plus, it worked in a hearty plug for my show Blackwood, which just completed its run.
That's right.
You can now binge the whole show.
Yeah.
On all major podcast apps.
Absolutely. And go look at the insane special features, which are one of my favorite things, on skylarkmedia.com.
Absolutely.
There are visuals you can look at that kind of fill in the story and almost have their own story.
Yeah, without a doubt. It expands
Very
the
cool.
world.
Yeah.
But enough of that business. Let's get to the good stuff.
Let's do it.
The real meat and potatoes of the show. Which are you, the meat or the potatoes?
The meat. I actually don't like potatoes that much.
I'll be the potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I ask for no potatoes when I order breakfast because I never eat them.
Breakfast potatoes are tricky. A nice hash brown.
If it's like a really good hash brown, but when it's just that
It better be a
home
really good
fries
hash
thing
brown.
where it's basically just like cut up potatoes that
And
are like fried for a
onions.
hot sec.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Keep them.
Yeah, it's just a waste.
I say keep them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I say keep them.
But let's do it. Kristen,
Yeah. William.
you're up.
All right.
First.
So last week, I talked to you guys about the act of selling your soul to the devil, and a lot of celebrity stuff came up. And I said that I would look into the idea of celebrities like Jay-Z, Beyonce, and the Illuminati, because it all kind of ties in.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm doing.
Wonderful.
And I'm going to cover a very specific angle of it, because this topic is vast, 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 to the point that maybe I'll cover it kind of in a different way another time. So I thought
Interesting.
rather than just like squish it all in one.
Yeah.
So this is very specific, but very rich. I want to talk to you about the Illuminati play that was the 2009 MTV VMAs.
The Illuminati play. Mm-hmm. The 2009 MTV VMAs were an Illuminati play.
Correct.
Okay.
So it is said that the Illuminati puts on plays and reenactments of things as a celebration kind of thing or as a ritual. So to catch you guys up, in case you don't know what the Illuminati is, it is a society that was formed kind of in reaction to the Freemasons a long time ago. I think it was the 1700s. It is a real, it was a real thing. But what we think of as the Illuminati today is basically a conspiracy theory about the idea that the Illuminati is all the powerful people in the world or entertainment or both, whatever your deal is, who all conspire together and plan everything basically. And they're pulling the strings and they're all in on it. And so there's an idea that there are a bunch of powerful people in entertainment who are in the Illuminati. And there are people who tend to watch these sorts of things. There are lots of Illuminati websites and stuff who saw what happened at the MTV VMAs and they spotted things that they're like, oh, this is all just part of an elaborate ritual that they played out in front of all of us, unbeknownst to us, except for us, the awake ones. But we recognize the symbolism and we know that they were carrying on this thing they thought hidden in plain sight, but we see you.
That's interesting. Now, just conceptually, I don't want to burst the bubble. So if part of the answer to this question is flat out the story that you're going to tell me, just tell me that and skip the answer right now. But what's the point of having it play out in front of everybody's eyes in a secret way?
I don't know that they can. Basically, that they're all together in a space. Maybe there's something.
Wield our power before you.
Maybe there's something fun about it being public, but nobody else knows. It shows how powerful they are. That they can do all this stuff in front of all of you, and you don't even know.
It's strange exhibitionism.
Yes, totally. Yeah, I don't know the exact rationale. I think that under scrutiny, the idea of the VMAs being an elaborate ceremony of the Illuminati falls apart. But there are surprisingly some things. There are parts of it that when I was reading about it, I was like, okay, so this is going to be something that doesn't make any sense. And I was like, that is a big coinky dink.
That's pretty compelling.
I still think coincidence, but I was like, whoa, that's awfully weird, actually. It has to do with Pink's performance in it, who I never think of associated with the Illuminati. I always think of Jay-Z, Beyonce, those are the big ones. But I was like, Pink's acrobat performance, what does that have to do with it? A lot.
Interesting.
Yes.
So she was almost doing a ballet of power.
You could say that. I'll tell you, because I'm going to go sequentially, through the VMAs, through this play.
Sync up your VHS recording of the VMAs from 2009?
That's right, 2009.
So everything that Kristen says is going to line up perfectly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is the commentary track to the VMAs.
Yeah, it's like Dark Side of the Moon and Wizard of Oz, what we're doing right now.
This is the year that Kanye West stormed the stage with Taylor Swift and said, why am I losing it? I say it all the time.
Oh, he said, I'm going to interrupt you.
Wait, what is it? Because I still use it and it's annoying.
I'm going to have to interrupt you, but Beyonce had the greatest video of all time. Of all time.
You're close.
Really?
Yeah,
Are you going to look this up right now?
I'm going to give you a minute. Oh, William, I actually need you to look it up. It's going to drive me crazy.
VMAs 2009 comes up right away.
It's one of my favorite old things to bring up that's just really... I'm going to let you finish. I'm going to let you finish. That's what it is. Taylor, I'm going to let you finish. But Beyonce had the greatest album or video or something of all time. Of all time.
Now, this is almost
I'm a big fan of I'm going to let you finish, blah, 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 of all time.
This is almost 10 years ago. This is damn near a decade ago.
Correct.
That's weird, huh?
I'm bringing it back to the light.
Can you believe that, Taylor Swift?
I know.
A decade ago.
I know. Weird, right? So if you want to hear a more well-rounded view of the Illuminati or a history of them that's different from what I'm going to be doing, because mine's going to be very VMA specific, I'll briefly widen to MTV as a whole, but not for very long. Listen to the podcast American Hysteria. William does a voice on it. The episode that came out this week, if you're listening live, is about the Illuminati, and it was just a weird coincidence. I texted Chelsea, and I was like, hey, I think I'm actually going to do a thing about, the VMAs Illuminati thing, and I'm just going to tell them to listen to American Hysteria, too. And she was like, do it.
Yeah.
Listen to it. It's a really good episode. It's a real good show.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Skylarkmedia.com as well. American Hysteria.
Yeah. No, but seriously, it's not just... We've talked about it a bunch of times, but honestly, if you find the Illuminati thing interesting, listen to that because there'll be more of it that you can check out. Okay. So, The first thing that you need to understand is that a lot of this whole thing stems from the idea that Jay-Z in particular is a bigwig in the Illuminati.
Okay.
And then at the time of 2009, by extension, Beyonce. Beyonce came into her own as an Illuminati figure to people who watch such things later on in her career, particularly Lemonade has a lot of kind of like occult symbology that people really dug into.
Awesome. Yeah.
It does, though. I mean, it's awesome. That's what I might talk about another time. But anyway, at the time of the VMAs of 2009, she hadn't done too many weird things like that. So it was mainly Jay-Z that people had their eye on. And again, I want to do more research into this in particular because they do for real use a lot of occult and Freemason and Illuminati symbology. And I don't know if it's just because it's cool and weird, like in a Hot Topic-y sort of way, or if there is something deeper to it, or they're poking the bear a little bit. But like, there are some things where I can see why people who follow this stuff are like, what the hell? Because they do use a lot of weird occult symbols.
Now, I have to ask, not to, again, burst the bubble of a future topic or anything, but when you're talking about them using occult symbols and stuff, it almost makes me think that it would be something overt, like a 666 hidden somewhere. But can you give us one example?
Yes.
What's one occult symbol that would fly beneath my radar?
It's not even stuff that would necessarily fly that well. Something that might fly beneath your radar are like obelisks and pyramids. The fact that those have like major occult symbology. So those are used in a lot of like Jay-Z's label Rockaware. Those are in there. It's also in his like album art and things like that. The like rock symbol is basically taking your hands together, bring your thumbs together, and then your like pointer fingers together. So it's like a diamond shape, or excuse me, a triangle shape. And triangles are very significant in occult symbology. Yeah. They can represent the all-seeing eye, the eye of Horus, pyramids, things like that. So if you can picture Beyonce and Jay-Z doing that like triangle-y thing,
sure.
Like that has occult significance. Triangles just themselves do, like the number 3 being a holy number.
Now, Walt Flanagan, who manages Kevin Smith's bookstore, Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, if you go in there and try to get your photo taken with him, he does the he does the triangle thing with his hands because he keeps trying to get the Illuminati to contact him.
That's amazing.
Even on Tell 'em Steve Dave,
I remember this now.
He talks and he's like, no, I'm really trying to join the Illuminati. And then people sent him cryptic mail. I did that on this show. I asked people to send us cryptic mail on this show, and people did.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about that someday in the future. But little brother, I hope you're listening. I haven't heard from you in a while. This is an actual message I'm sending to somebody right now.
Yeah.
This is not fake. Little brother, let me hear from you. I miss your words. Send me an email, little brother.
Please do. I missed them too.
That a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it's time. So also, it seems like people who are into watching for these sorts of signs in the media have really dined out on what I can only tell is a one-time instance in public of Jay-Z wearing a sweatshirt that said, "Do what thou wilt."
Okay.
It didn't seem like it was a regular thing. I saw one picture referenced a lot because that is the first half of "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law," which is something that Aleister Crowley said. I also heard that was like his greeting to other people, like in the OTO, which is an organization that he headed, that they would just be like, "Do what thou wilt." What is it? "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law."
Okay.
To say hello.
Right. Hello.
Right. So that thing about Jay-Z has been a rumor since like the 90s because of all that stuff. And again, I want to go into it more because I don't understand it. I want to know. I was Googling it and stuff. I want to know from somebody who's not necessarily like totally buying in and believing the Illuminati thing. I'd like to hear from somebody who's like, yeah, what is the deal with this? Because they do use this a lot, and I want somebody else to do the legwork for me on that.
Fair enough.
I don't know if it's out there. I might have to do the legwork. I don't know how I could find out except for asking Beyonce and Jay-Z. But something is up.
Well, this show is getting pretty big.
It may just be them enjoying it, but they absolutely do use a lot of occult symbology. So anyway, my point in talking about that, besides that it's sweet, is that Beyonce at this time in 2009 was just kind of de facto lumped in with that because she was married to Jay-Z. She wasn't doing too much stuff like that yet in her videos and everything.
She was huge, though.
She was humongous,
yeah.
But she didn't really dive into, besides like throwing up that like rock symbol and everything. She really has a lot of really sweet like mystical symbolism in future videos and albums and things like that. At that time, she didn't really. It was really just that she was married to Jay-Z, so she like must be in on this.
Yeah.
But later, she definitely came into her own in that regard. So that I think is what frames the VMAs being looked at as even a possible Illuminati play, is the involvement of Jay-Z and Beyonce. And in particular, this year for Beyonce was when Single Ladies came out and stuff. So she was humongous.
Okay.
So she's like looming large over the VMAs. They were like Beyonce's VMAs. So it was a little bit of surprise when Taylor Swift won Female Artist of the Year. That is when Kanye West jumped on stage and said, I'm going to let you finish. But Beyonce had the greatest album video. I keep messing it up. Of all time or whatever. So in this line of thought where this is an Illuminati ritual and ceremony playing out on the world stage, that was Taylor Swift's initiation into the Illuminati. That was a little bit of hazing. That was her being taken down a peg. She's not worthy just yet. We're going to you can play with us, but you're not all the way in yet, is what that was symbolizing.
Well, so that the implication then being that Kanye is in the Illuminati.
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Again, by way of proximity to Jay-Z, it seems.
Oh, really? So Jay-Z is his own
He's the crux of this whole thing.
Yeah.
As far as the 2009 VMAs go, I don't know if, look, I know that the Illuminati thinks that Kanye is an agent, people who watch the Illuminati think that Kanye West may be involved in the Illuminati and that his recent tirades and weird things are the result of MK Ultra being administered, which is a mind control tactic. That's again its own whole thing. It's really nuts.
Yeah.
But again, on the 2009 VMAs tip, I believe it's just because he's good friends with Jay-Z and Beyonce and he's involved. Basically, people seem to think everybody involved in Hollywood in power, as you'll see. There's some random characters, such as the one I'm about to talk about next, who all seem to be in on this grand play.
Right.
So that happens. Taylor Swift is humiliated. Sure, she can come into their club enough to be on the VMAs, but she can't take a spot just yet. We have to lower her down. She's being hazed, basically, before we bring her in and we rally around her and we bond over this thing.
Are there any other examples of that being done to people publicly?
I don't think so.
No. Part of the reason the Kanye thing
was
a huge splash was because it was highly unusual.
It was
if major celebrities were getting pantsed every other week.
Well,
it would be oh yeah. No, this happens all the time that somebody gigantic rises a bit and then, steps in icky goo.
Well, again, the idea is that they don't always do these rituals on a large stage like the VMAs. It seems to be that they decide to take their shot. They have the VMAs, so let's do it this time. The idea is that they do this privately otherwise. But this time, they're letting it play out. And I've also seen two schools of thought on the Taylor Swift thing in particular. One, she didn't know it was coming and she's being hazed. Two, she was in on it. And again, we are just reenacting the idea of this whole dance of the way that you kind of join the Illuminati. This is all a play and all the players are involved.
This is such a weird idea.
It's crazy. Let me move on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's really going to... can you just say what your source is for this?
A bunch of websites.
Who came up with this? This is wild.
Vigilant Citizen is one.
What? Oh, no.
I'm not recommending these. I don't know what other stuff they say on them, so don't think that I'm saying
these places.
I did feel a little seedy, by the way, looking this stuff up. God, I just remember that name because it was so specific. And also this one, that's the one that really went point by point through the VMAs thing. But yeah, weird website names that feel ugh.
Yeah.
But anyway, the next person who joins our stage, Jack Black.
Oh.
He's in on it too, William.
No, not my lovable scamp.
He asks us to pray to Satan. Which I think is really funny. I didn't rewatch this clip, but it kind of rang a bell. He's like, let's all pray to Satan together for real.
That's great.
I know. Because it's his thing. He's into metal and death metal and whatever. Right. He was also dressed as a video game character. I think it was somebody from Rock Band or something like that.
Okay. Oh, he might have been in the game Brutal Legend.
Yeah, that. Yep. Also, I will say, it seems like people who look out for the Illuminati, anything that has to do with religion in any way gets lumped into the Illuminati. It's not its own thing. It's you could be talking about Satan, you're the Illuminati.
Right.
You could be talking about praying to a higher power, Illuminati. You could be saying that there's a part of yourself that you channel, Illuminati, because that's another Beyonce thing. She had Sasha Fierce. So people who are into that, that's why this is so far reaching. That's why I was going to try to stick to VMAs because it's so much and so crazy.
It's so
but
wild.
Anyway,
this is wild.
People who think that Beyonce is part of the Illuminati sometimes point to her Sasha Fierce persona that she had earlier in her career. And then later on, she said, Sasha Fierce is dead. I integrated her into me. Now Sasha Fierce, she said this, is like in me. I don't need that persona anymore because like now I am Sasha Fierce. And they're like, oh, she channeled something. She brought something other into her.
Yeah.
This is clearly an Illuminati act.
Yeah. Well, just like Garth Brooks with Chris Gaines.
Oh, absolutely. He brought him into them.
He
so
did.
he did
Yeah.
them. Who knows?
Well, yeah.
He didn't need him anymore.
Who's to say?
So Jack Black came out, asked everybody to pray to the Dark Lord Satan with him, and then he ended with, I ask you to grant tonight's nominees with continued success in the music industry.
Wow.
So a prayer to the Dark Lord.
That's a really funny comedy way to lump every single person in that room into, being agents of the devil.
Well, here's the thing. They had to have Jack Black do it because he's known for being into this kind of thing anyway in a jokey way. How else, William, could they bring Satan into this pageant that we're all watching without causing alarm?
This is making my skin crawl because all I want to do is like rebut. I know you don't believe this.
I know.
So I have nowhere to direct my frustration other than back at you. You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
yeah.
It's tough.
That's so irritating to me.
Look. I don't want to make a blanket statement. I also don't want anybody to come after me.
Yeah.
These Illuminati people are really annoying.
That's really too much. Because he's a funny.
Maybe not all of them. I'm sure there's some people who are reasonable. Because, like I said, I can see how you would look at some Jay-Z and Beyonce stuff. In particular, there's other things too, and be like, there's something going on. Like there is something to that.
Fun.
I can understand, but I can even understand from a serious perspective, being like, why are they doing this stuff all the time? Maybe there's an Illuminati thing. Like maybe there are people who are reasonable and who are like, they're like doing things in plain sight that we just brush off, but like they're showing us like serious ritual stuff. You know what I mean? But there are also people who are like, well, of course they had Jack Black come out because how else could they talk about Satan on a show?
That's what makes me itchy. It's none of the rest of it. Like the whole Jay-Z imagery thing. That's interesting in a way where it's like maybe he does have some sort of an underlying mythology that he's building about himself.
I'm very interested. Yeah.
But it's not. He's not treating it like an overt storytelling thing. He's like, no, I'll put these bits and pieces out. People can figure it out
of myself, maybe.
But then to be like, well, of course, funny man Jack Black could make it all seem like a game, but he really. That's what. I don't know. I can't put my finger on why that annoys me.
It's annoying because it's like, I see everything. Like you guys don't see it, but I see how they're trying to pull one over on us, and it's not working on me.
Yeah, I think there's also something about like that guy who's obviously just being funny. There's a secret message. You know what I mean? Like thinking too hard about the
lighten
joke.
Up. Right.
Just take it easy.
Totally.
Everyone relax. It feels a little bit like Room 237, that documentary about The Shining.
Yeah, there's a lot like that, which is very typical of the conspiracy theory world. Like just like looking at something way, way, way too hard, basically. So yeah, there's obviously
so strange.
Totally an element of that going on.
It's a joke.
Yeah, come on, people.
You gotta pay attention to these things.
So the next act in our play, Lady Gaga's performance of Paparazzi. Now this does again have very overt kind of like Masonic symbology in it seems like.
Okay.
Or just kind of theatrical symbology. But there are some things
Was this the meat dress?
No, it wasn't. This was when she performed Paparazzi. I think it was like a year before Meat Dress or something. And she ends up stabbed and bleeding and hanging from the ceiling because fame has killed her.
Oh, my.
That was a blood sacrifice, William.
Oof. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I will say, like, there are some images. It's one of those things where, like, yeah, you can see it, but it could just be whatever else. But it does seem like, because Lady Gaga definitely does seem to have, like, a knowledge and interest in that sort of things. Like, she definitely has a back catalog of, like, dark symbols and Baphomets and goat heads and things like that, like kind of satanic stuff. It does seem like the set is sort of modeled on a like very opulent Masonic lodge, which is sweet. So I can see their point.
I think it's rad.
It rules. So not only was her blood sacrifice her performance, but then later in the night is when she changed into this like all red lace outfit that covers her face and everything. It's really awesome, and her hands, and so that she was signifying blood. She was still in that blood mode, which I think she may have been just herself, like it was part of her performance kind of thing, but they're saying that was part of the whole Illuminati play.
Right.
Now, this is the one, Pink's performance next, that I was like, I saw the picture of her, like in her like leotard or whatever, like getting ready to go on or get like hooked in so she could do acrobatics in the air, and I was like, oh my God. But There's actually a lot of stuff with Pink's performance of her song Glitter in the Air that is very Masonic and Illuminati-y.
Okay.
So I'm just going to quote.
Yeah.
This was from VigilantCitizen.com, this quote. I feel weird calling them out, but whatever. That's where it's from. They said, and this is one of those annoying things, there is no way a Mason could watch his performance without recalling his initiation into the first degree. So my eyes are rolling. But then, here's a description by Mark Stavish from some book. The candidate for initiation is stripped of all material possessions and dressed in a strange and peculiar garb. This includes a blindfold and a length of rope called a cable tow. So the picture of her is blindfolded. She's got cables hooking her up to the ceiling or whatever, and it does get a little bit weirder. He continues. And this is sweet. The blindfold used represents secrecy, darkness, and ignorance, as well as trust. The candidate is led into the lodge room for initiation, but is not able to see what is happening. He is bound about the waist and arm with a cable tow. Oh, it's from the book Freemasonry, Rituals, Symbols, and History of the Secret Society. So she is blindfolded and bound with ropes. Her costume is like a catsuit sort of thing. And her left breast is exposed, but then there's like a heart over where her nipple would be. Or it's kind of like on her boob, but whatever. Like it's made to be half and half kind of her costume. And then also her left leg is exposed in this costume, like in, sparkly stuff or whatever. And then the rest of her costume bears a diamond pattern, which is very reminiscent of the floors in Masonic lodges, which is true. And then...
I think I've been in a Masonic lodge.
A lot of people have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Katie's dad was part of the Masons.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Pink's performance was like acrobatics where she's flipping all around. You'd think that she'd probably get down and be dizzy, which just ties into something, which is also a feature of Freemasonry's first degree initiation. He is then blindfolded, and a cord in the form of a noose is passed around his neck. At this point, the novice is entering the marginal stage associated with ordeals. He cannot see, his sense of direction has been confused, and he has been dressed like a victim for execution. So there is a picture online of what that kind of looks like what somebody would be wearing when they go to do something like that. Left boob exposed, left leg exposed, blindfold, and ties. It really is very similar to what Pink is wearing.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Hold on a second. Can you send that to me?
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead
I misspoke. Her left leg isn't exposed, but her left leg is the one that has the Masonic Lodge print.
Right.
Where should I send it to? It's a really old article.
Hank.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Or MTV?
Yeah, try.
Will that do it, you think?
Maybe. The other thing I'll get to is that there have been a million articles about the VMAs and Illuminati stuff since, because I think that this theory kind of took off. People have been dining out on it in blog posts ever since. So it might be hard to find.
Well,
I would go back really far.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like all the way?
Wait. Go up. No. Okay, go down.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
That's right.
Because this is from 2009, remember? So
yeah, now we're
it probably should be this last page. This one.
Okay.
Yep.
The 2009 MTV or the 2009 VMAs, the occult mega ritual. So if if you're watching this on the YouTube version of the show, you're going to be able to see some of these images real quick.
Right.
Really, the only one that I want to show off at the moment.
Yeah, it is Pink.
So
yeah, I would Google it because this one was weird to me.
Okay.
I think it's particularly weird because it's so specific, and she's like kind of hitting the specific points.
Right. So Pink, like the shirt is like cut across her chest, her left boob is out, left leg is kind of like different.
Yeah.
And then here's an initiate.
Right.
Whose left leg of his pants is rolled up and his left boob is hanging out.
Right, and he's also blindfolded and has like ties on him.
All right.
It is kind of weird.
Kristen, I'm going to go with kind of weird.
Right?
I'm going to go with kind of weird.
Like I said, that was the one. I really was not expecting that to be the one where I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, this could be a Masonic ritual.
Side note, how come Farva gets to be in the Illuminati and I don't?
Who says you don't? Have you tried?
You know, I haven't.
Right.
Although I'll say this much. I have worked now in La La Land, and I have seen the Hollywood sign. Mm-hmm. I have mingled with some Hollywood elite.
Right.
Who's to say I'm not already? I won't tell.
I would kill you if you were a person like that and you didn't tell me.
I won't tell.
I'll never tell.
I've not mingled with any Hollywood elite.
You kind of have, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing that rounds out our ritual is we're bringing Taylor Swift back.
Tay-tay.
She's been through these trials and everything. She's lived through the play. And now Beyonce has won Video of the Year. So even though she didn't win Female Artist of the Year or Female Video, she won Video of the Year. And she brings Taylor out on stage so that she can have her moment. Taylor was waiting in the wings. It seems to have been planned. She comes out. She's wearing a red dress that's the same shade as red as Beyonce. Maybe more blood messaging. Maybe messaging that they are on the same playing fields now.
Could be.
And now she is welcomed into the group. Our play has concluded.
So I have a question for
on
you.
the world stage in front of everyone.
I have a question for you then.
These plebes didn't even know.
No, they obviously did. Vigilant citizen whose tagline is "Symbols rule the world, not words nor laws."
Okay.
Anyway, they did catch it.
Yeah.
You said that this is all supposed to be like some sort of orchestrated dance or recreation. What is it recreating?
I think that it's recreating like somebody being like brought into the fold of the Illuminati. So maybe it's like first there's the trial, then there's the prayer to Satan, then there's the blood sacrifice, then pink is symbolizing that thing that they do to new initiates to confuse them and whatever. And then finally you've made it, and now you're on the stage with the queen of the Illuminati, Beyonce.
Yeah.
And you're in.
Well, listen, I'm not going to say that the concept of having some sort of a narrative playing across an award show isn't compelling to me.
Funny you should say that.
It is.
Taylor Swift said that she would like to be excluded from this narrative, one that she never has to be a part of, from 2009. That's when Kim Kardashian came out with the receipts of her talking to Kanye West on the phone, saying that she was fine with that song where he says, me and Taylor may still have sex because I made that bitch famous.
Right.
And then Taylor Swift acted horrified by it.
Well,
and then whatever. And then Taylor Swift put on Instagram a statement that said that. It's kind of neither here nor there. You just use the word narrative, and that's another one of my favorite quotes.
But wait.
So I thought I'd trot it out.
She said that she doesn't want to be part of the story anymore?
Right. The Kanye West story of like, poor
she doesn't
Taylor.
want people to talk about this thing anymore.
Right,
okay,
right.
I thought you were talking about this crazy Illuminati story.
No.
Like, she commented on this?
No.
She issued a statement?
No.
That's the worst thing you could do.
Absolutely. No, she didn't.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, that's a hell of a ride you just took us on there, Kristen.
Right. So, as I said very briefly, but it's worth looking into, if you Google the words MTV Illuminati or VMAs Illuminati, there are tons of blog posts and think pieces and everything, not just from people who are like Illuminati watchdog people. It's just like MTV blog writers who are like, 15 reasons the Illuminati were in charge of the 2015 VMAs. Like, they really latched onto this. And I totally get it. It's really fun. If I were a blog writer for MTV, I would do the same thing. But, like, it's part of, like, the weird culture of the VMAs now to talk about how they're, like, Illuminati-based.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's certainly entertaining, but this is a messy little story here.
Oh, totally.
It's very fun.
Yes.
And it's crazy. And I really do love the stories of, like, Hollywood elite mingling secretly.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, like, I don't really know what the hell the Illuminati is or what they do or why they would want to do this.
Right.
But it certainly is fun.
It's fun to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are world leaders in the Illuminati?
Yeah,
Every time I think of the Illuminati, it's people
like
talking
they're
about
different...
like Bing Crosby.
It's like there are different branches of the Illuminati.
Bud
So this
Abbott.
would be Bud Abbott. This would be like the Hollywood branch of the Illuminati. The Illuminati are supposed to be like widespread. There's like overlap between the Illuminati and the New World Order. Right. It's like a whole thing.
Right. Because, if I have to hear one more story about Tony Curtis and Desi Arnaz living it up.
Being the high priests of the Illuminati.
I'm going to spew.
I am just going to spew.
Would you believe I didn't even hear the answer to the question?
Because you were thinking of the names.
I was trying to think of more
I
people.
totally get it. You pulled out really good ones.
I'll hear it on the show this week. Tony Curtis. What, do you think he was in the Illuminati? He must have been.
I don't know.
He was great.
I don't have enough of a reference of Tony Curtis. I know he's famous, but I don't know how famous he was.
He was in Some Like It Hot with Jack Lemmon. It was wonderful. It was great.
I know, but was he like totally like wielding power over Hollywood famous?
Oh, he was Lord.
Was he? Yeah.
Oh, he was He was shaming people.
I'm not too hot on the Tony Curtis train. Too
Yeah.
hot on the train. You know what I mean?
No. Like the 1962 Oscars, he got up and he said, "I'm going to let you finish, but I just have to say."
That's not how he talks. He has like a weird like New Yorkie accent.
Oh, does he?
Because one of the few things I know about Tony Curtis is that he played Caesar and he was just talking like himself, basically.
You almost stole what I was going to say because I was going to go, "I'm going to let you finish." Well, I'll do New York now.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you finish, but I just got to say, my bud here, Sid Caesar, had the kickinest movie of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Good job,
Thank you.
kickinist.
It's kickinest.
I oversold his accent. I'm not sure if it's New York, but he was just kind of like, how could you do this to me?
Would you believe I have no idea what I've been talking about? Just trying to pull old names out of my ass. That was great.
Yeah, good
That was
stuff,
great,
right?
Kristen. Yeah, that was wonderful.
What do you got?
So I'm going to take you on a journey
Okay.
into a well-known urban legend. Perhaps one of the most well-known urban legends
I'm listening.
in the world.
Yeah.
I defy you to find somebody who doesn't at least know this concept, if not their own version of the story.
Okay.
And so, Kristen, first, I'm going to ask you to tell me the story you know when I say this. The babysitter and the call coming from inside the house.
Okay, this is very funny that you're doing this. I was thinking about this recently. I don't remember why, and I was trying to remember the story, and I remember thinking to myself, I have to Google that later. I think what it is that the deal is that there's a phone call, and it's a bad guy or something, and then a babysitter, and they're threatening in some way, and then the babysitter like calls the police or something. Is like, can you trace this call? And they trace, and the police call back, and they're like, that call is coming from where you are. You need to get out of there, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you know anything else? Do you know what happens?
No,
from
I know
there
when
or
a stranger calls with Carol Kane.
Have you seen that movie?
Yeah. I haven't
interesting.
seen it in a long time, but I've seen it.
Okay.
What happens from there? I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
All right. I mean,
Yeah.
the short answer is that a million things happen from
Yeah.
there because there is no concrete, singular story that this all points back to.
Yeah.
You know, everybody seems to have their own version. This story has been around at least since the 1950s.
Cool.
Essentially, it seems like from a time where telephones were common enough to be in the everyday household.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where this story comes from.
Yeah.
Which is kind
Cool,
of amazing.
that's awesome.
Like the second that phones came into people's houses, there was a new scary story to freak them all out about it.
I kind of love seeing the evolution of things like that, that you can be like, oh, that teenager or babysitter call from inside the house thing came about when phones came into everybody's houses.
Yeah, basically.
Like
It's
we find a way to make everything threatening.
Everything has to turn into something scary.
Yeah.
Everything. So I'm going to read you one version of the story. It is not the only version of the story. I tried to find the version that I would have recognized as being the first one I'd ever heard.
Yeah.
Couldn't find it. There's no way you can find it.
Yeah.
Somebody probably told it to me on a playground or something.
Right.
You know, this is truly a story that has been passed around and has evolved as like in the telling.
Yeah, it's a major classic.
But here is one version.
Real quick, not to skip ahead, but maybe, is that Stephen King book that's about a phone? Is that a play on this kind of thing at all?
What are you thinking of? Cell?
Maybe.
You're
It was
not
like a
thinking of-
Kindle
Oh,
only.
I knew it. You're thinking of You Are, the Kindle
Yes.
exclusive.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Kristen, that's a very simple tale of a person who buys an Amazon Kindle trademark. Get your own Kindle at Amazon.com.
Right.
But the one that arrives in the mail is a pink version.
Right.
But that wasn't officially released by Amazon. This is all in the book.
No, I'm remembering.
And then he's reading the book, and there's a thing that allows you to look up lines from the book you're reading as a reference to find news articles about it.
Okay.
And all the news articles he's reading don't make sense. This doesn't make... John Lennon is still alive? How could this be? He has a Kindle from another universe that's referencing news articles from this parallel world where certain events took place differently.
If you
That is a real
just
Stephen King
told
novel.
me that plot, you said, guess who wrote that? I would say Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Gotta be master of horror Stephen King.
Gotcha. That is what I'm thinking of. Okay, go ahead.
Who
Sorry.
Who I swear I do like.
I love him, but there's
Swear.
I don't love everything.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, here is one version
Yeah.
of this tale. A young couple living in a large isolated house had gone out to a dinner party one evening and left the babysitter in charge of their two children. The children had been put to bed, and the babysitter was watching the television when the phone rang. She answered, but all she heard was a man laughing hysterically, and then a voice saying, "I'm upstairs with the children. You'd better come up."
Ew.
Thinking,
That's worse.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Oh my God.
Now, this is where one of the divergence
right,
stories
right.
come.
I haven't heard that. Yeah.
There are a million variations, so I'll go ahead and say that many of the variations there, if people listening to this are like, that's not right.
Yeah.
That's not right. Is because frequently that would be, you better check on the children.
Ew, your voice is making it worse.
Just
In a
going
good
for
way. It's a compliment.
Squirmy, scary person.
No, it's working.
Thinking it was one of those phone calls or a practical joke, she slammed down the receiver and turned the television sound up. A short time later, the phone rang again. As she picked it up, the unmistakable hysterical laughter came down the line, and the voice once again said, "I'm upstairs with the children. You'd better come up."
Oh my God.
Getting rather frightened, she called the operator and was advised they would notify the police, and should the phone ring again, could she please keep him talking in order to give them enough time to trace the call and have him arrested. Minutes later, she placed the receiver, and the phone rang again, and the voice said, "I'm upstairs with the children. You'd better come up."
Ugh.
She tried to keep him talking. However, he must have guessed what she was trying to do, and he hung up on her. Only seconds later, the phone rang again. This time it was the operator who said, "Get out of the house straight away. The man is calling from inside the house." The babysitter put down the phone and heard somebody coming down the stairs.
Oh my God, this is really scary.
She fled out of the house and straight into the arms of the police.
Ooh.
They burst into the house and found a man brandishing a large butcher's knife. He had entered the house through an upstairs window, murdered both the children, and was just about to do the same to the poor babysitter.
God. Oh my God, that's a really scary story.
Terrifying. Genuinely terrifying.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the reasons why it has proliferated to this day, is because
That's very disturbing.
It speaks to this fear in all of us of things that are simple and could really happen.
Right.
There's nothing exaggerated about this story. There's some ridiculousness to it.
Yeah.
The idea, even the voice I was doing, it's all ridiculous, but in that way that scares you because it reminds you that there are people who are somewhat like that.
Well, yeah, completely.
And would really want to do that.
And it's also scary because it's kind of like the scary aspect of blowing something off because it's too ridiculous. And then that thing that's so ridiculous turns out to be true.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh.
And the idea that the kids were already dead.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And he just keeps calling.
He's
like, "Come on up," because he wants her to see the dead kids and then kill her. Right.
But it's also the game. It's not enough to just do the killing. You have to engage
you have to lure your prey.
It's more fun that way.
Yeah.
So here are some...
It's a good story.
Oh, it's such a good story.
It's a really good story.
I really love this story.
Yeah.
Some variations.
Yeah.
In some versions, the mysterious caller only laughs. So she picks up the phone and says, "Ha, ha, 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 ha." Nothing. Different number of children, whatever.
Yeah.
Who cares? Sometimes the girl sees the killer before she runs out the door and the police are there.
Yeah.
In alternate versions, the police discover that one of the children upstairs has been the one making the threatening prank calls.
I'd kill that kid.
So it was all a hoax.
I'd wring their neck.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd choke them to death.
Yeah.
You're right. There are many versions that kidify the story.
Yeah.
To defang it a little bit, to make it play
more
better
palatable.
for the family. You can imagine like somebody telling this story at like, boy. So it would be fun to imagine having that kid having a sleepover, all their friends around, and then just being like, "Hey kids, I'm gonna go to bed, but I'm gonna tell you a story real quick."
Yeah.
And just scaring the hell out of all of
Yeah,
them.
right.
And then like going upstairs, but listen and be like, "What are we gonna do?" listen to the panic in their voices.
What are we gonna do?
What are we gonna do?
Guys, we gotta come up with a plan. What are we gonna do?
Yeah. Oh God. This is all right. Now this is probably the craziest one.
Yeah.
Another variation, combined with elements of another urban legend called the roommate's death. I believe this is the one where they're like, "Aren't you glad you didn't turn on the lights?"
Oh God, that's a good one too.
Urban legends, I'm telling you, I love them.
Oh, I do too.
Everybody email urban legends or message them or whatever at Haunted Sponge. Send me your favorite urban legends. I want the classic ones, and I want them written well.
Send them to gttupod@gmail.com. Don't leave me out of this.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, they're the best.
Anyway, so this variation involves 2 babysitters.
Mm-hmm.
After the first girl learns from the operator that the calls are coming from inside the house, she runs to the stairway to get her friend. Her friend had like basically gone up to check the kids.
Uh-huh.
Meanwhile, she's on the phone.
Right.
As she approaches the stairway, she hears a thumping sound
Mm-hmm.
coming from up the stairs. It's the sound of her friend, her limbs severed, dragging herself down the stairway.
Oh my God, I have never heard that before.
In other versions, on top of that, the mutilated friend warns the first babysitter that the children have all been murdered and urges her to flee the house.
Oh my God. That's brutal.
1950s.
Man.
That's where this came from. Nuclear family, chicken in every pot.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Oh.
Taking the horrors of the world and turning them into something that's more digestible.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Really brutal.
In some versions, every time the killer calls, like the first time he calls, he's like, I'm going to kill you in 1 hour.
Oh my. Oh, yeah, that rings a bell.
15 minutes later,
Yeah.
45 minutes left.
Yeah.
Counting down and down and down and down.
Oh God, I hate that.
It's so terrifying.
Ugh.
Sometimes the killer doesn't say anything at all, but just
Yeah.
makes disturbing noises on the other end of the phone.
Uh-huh.
When the operator tells the babysitter that the calls are coming from upstairs, the line goes dead.
Yeah.
So the cop is now like, hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Operator calls back, and the only thing they hear is the disturbing sounds.
Oh God.
So we never learned more about this person, but now they're even taunting the police.
What an unsatisfying story, though. Very
And then the
creepy.
police is like, oh, I sent everybody out. I'm alone at the station. Oh, no.
Now I'm scared. I mean, that's
no.
really good and creepy, but like, I'd like a little more information, please.
Oh, no, you don't get more. That's one of the best things about urban legends. You're left with whatever they were willing to tell you in the first place. There are no answers because there is no more story. This world doesn't exist. After this, it's a cliff. After this, it's just smashed to black.
Yeah.
Anything could have happened. It's up to you.
Yeah.
And you're going to make it the worst thing possible for yourself right up here in the head.
Yep.
Right in the old chrome dome.
Yeah.
In another variation, the babysitter is watching television with the children. The phone starts to ring. Thinking it's the parents checking up on them, the babysitter answers, only to hear a creepy man's voice saying that he'll be with them soon.
God.
So good.
This is so good.
It's so good. Do you never think of this story? I think of this not infrequently.
I just told you that I was just thinking about it.
Well, I know, but I mean like over the course of like...
Oh, totally. But I haven't heard a lot of these versions.
It's great. Urban legends, man. Urban
Amazing.
Legends. It's great. So, like I said, there is no origin.
Yeah.
At some point, somebody was the first person to say this.
Of
story.
course.
No one knows who that was.
My favorite author.
No, but yeah, my favorite author.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who they are.
Yeah.
And obviously, it would be easy to then go like, well, was there a case that this was based on?
Right.
The answer is also no.
Yeah.
However, as much a bummer as this is,
Mm-hmm.
there are things that happen in real life that kind of echo
Yeah.
the events of the story. So I'm going to tell you about one of them right
Yeah.
now. And it did take place right on the dot,
Uh-huh.
1950,
Oh, man.
in Columbia, Missouri.
Okay.
There's a little bit of guilty party. I don't like talking about true crime,
Uh-huh.
but this is something that happened in real life.
Right.
Everybody buckle up. This stuff typically bums me out.
Yeah.
But in the service of this story,
Right. It seems like it's part of
interesting.
its origin.
Right.
Yeah.
13-year-old Janet Christman was babysitting 3-year-old Gregory Romack. Sometime between putting the kid to bed and the arrival of his parents at 1:30 in the morning, a man shattered the living room window and attacked her and killed her. They suspected a close friend, Robert Mueller,
Oh.
which is weird,
Uh-oh.
because he had been making weird comments about her.
Okay.
Yeah. But he passed the lie detector test. He was never charged.
Uh-huh.
He ended up suing everybody for sullying his good name.
Uh-huh.
Now here's the thing about this case.
Yeah.
The living room window was broken from the outside.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Whoever this person was used a garden hose outside, probably like the brass,
Yeah,
end of it,
right.
to smash through the window.
Mm-hmm.
But the real strange thing was that just inside that window was a cluster of furniture he would not have been able to easily walk through. He would have had to have moved it out of his way.
Uh-huh.
None of it was moved. All of it was still completely in place. The implication being,
Yeah.
it was no problem for him to get into the house.
Right.
And smashing the window
Right.
was a fake.
Right.
He was already in.
Right. Oh my God.
No one knows.
Ugh.
I mean, what a nightmare.
That's so freaky.
What a nightmare. To have that clue. That's like the big clue.
Yeah, totally.
That's one of the big ones. How to get in.
Right. And
oh,
then
man, did he get cut on the glass? Do we have any DNA? Do we have anything?
he just wanted to mess up the timeline and the idea of how this crime was committed, basically,
Guess
and
so.
just kind of like muddy the waters.
Guess so.
Oh,
Real.
God.
Real nuts.
Was the kid okay?
The dead kid?
Wait, no, but wasn't she was she babysitting for somebody?
Yeah. She was Gregory Romack, 3 years old.
Yeah, he was killed?
To this day, I don't know.
To this day.
Can you believe it?
All this time.
And I don't even know.
You still don't know, huh?
Still don't know. Still haven't
Probably
figured it
research
out.
this today. Yeah.
Still haven't figured it out to this day. This story obviously was essentially the wellspring from which a million classic horror films
Right, that makes a ton of sense.
sprang.
Yeah, because it's horrifying.
The
God.
first notable one of which is 1974's Black Christmas.
I want to watch that again. I've seen it, but I don't really remember it.
Hoo-wee. It is a hell of a movie. It's often cited as one of the actual beginnings of the slasher genre.
Yeah.
Some people point to Peeping Tom. Some people point to Psycho. Some people just go straight to Halloween. But Halloween was itself a ripoff.
Right.
A madman stalking babysitters on a holiday.
Yeah.
That had already been done several years prior in this Margot Kidder sleeper hit.
Yep.
It's a sorority house.
Yeah.
And somebody's calling and harassing them. And the phone calls to start are the same, exactly the kind of like gross calls somebody would be making to
a sorority house. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like just like, body talk.
Right. They're blue.
It's blue. They use,
This caller is working blue.
Working blue, using some blue material.
Yeah.
And then Margot Kidder gets on the line. She's basically the one that's like, she's the tough sorority girl. And she's like, okay, let me talk to him. And she's like, all right, listen, bud. Up your nose with a rubber hose. Or whatever the hell she says. And then
whatever they say in 1974 to ward off attacks.
Exactly. But she, really like goes to town.
Yeah.
And then it's quiet for a moment. He just goes, I'm going to kill you.
Ugh.
Click.
God.
And it's a tonal shift from the gross guy a moment ago.
Right. Who's like being fun. Well, not funny, but you know what I mean.
But
Yeah.
Crazy. To now just like honest. Almost like, how could you?
Yeah, right.
I'm going to kill you.
Oof.
And they all are kind of stunned by it.
Yeah.
He'll call back later, of course.
Of course.
Boy, everybody watch Black Christmas.
Yeah.
Get your stomach ready.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bummer.
Uh-huh.
But one of the later phone calls, I'm going to try to do an impression.
Okay.
It's impossible, though. I think because they layer multiple voices in, literally. But, like, later on when this guy calls back, they pick up the phone. He's like, you pig. You pig. You pig. What'd you do with the baby, Agnes? You pig. Like, it's just impossible.
Oh, my God.
It's now there's
that
not
sounds
even
extremely disturbing.
there's not even a semblance of
Yeah.
humanity, logic, no rational mind anymore.
Yeah.
It's almost animalistic and popping out of him.
Right.
Involuntarily.
Oh my God.
He can't even contain it.
Yeah.
It is
Pig
very
is such
frightening.
like a sharp insult.
Yeah.
Pig has this particular like real like hatred behind it.
Yes.
Oof.
Which is strange. It's a sweet
I
piggy
know,
on the
but
farm,
it's like
it really
it's
is
like it just feels so pointed. Like
being a pig.
Yeah, Alec Baldwin calling his daughter like a selfish little pig.
Yeah.
Kim Richards calling Brandy Glanville a slut pig on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
It's weird. It's a weird
It
one.
feels like dirty. Like,
whoa.
It's
because it's weird.
Yeah.
There's also like a
yeah,
Texas
it is
chainsaw
odd.
kind
Yeah,
of
it's
thing
such
to
a
it.
it's a strange thing to say. I guess it's literally dehumanizing, so that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's not
It
great.
just feels harsh.
It's not great.
Yeah. I don't like pig. It has such hard syllables. Or not syllables,
Pig.
consonants.
Yeah.
Pig.
Pig.
Ugh.
Oh, it's a rough one.
Yeah.
And in the movie, it's very frightening.
Yeah. It sounds like you just doing it made me like, ugh, I don't know if I want to watch that.
Kristen, it's amazing.
But
I
do.
have some go-tos of like things that are just like really scary in short bursts.
Yeah.
That phone call from Black Christmas. Everyone look up the Ghost song on YouTube. You'll know when you see it. The thumbnail, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Ghost song.
I don't know what that is.
Go forth and listen to it. It is frightening.
Okay.
Yeah, I just save it for later.
Okay.
So the killer is never revealed.
Yeah.
In that movie. Spoiler alert. I'm going to spoil a bunch of movies for you here now. Every movie that I mention from here on out, I'm going to be spoiling.
Yeah.
Just beware.
Okay.
So in that movie, they don't reveal who the killer is. It's a complete mystery. He basically gets away with it. You never even really see his face.
Yeah.
They remade this movie in 2006.
Yeah.
And it was directed and written by Glenn Morgan, famed for his work on X-Files.
Yeah.
Not such a good movie. They basically abandoned the phone call aspect of it, which is kind of a bummer. The only reason I can assume is because now the idea of a killer phone call
is like
so wrapped
too
up
done.
in Scream.
Yeah.
Too done, but like really, I feel like Scream.
Well, I mean, by Scream.
Took the ball and ran with it and just made it theirs.
Yeah, in 2006 would be like so soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And so instead they dig real deep into who the killer is, Billy, and he said something to someone called Agnes. So they dig in real deep there.
Okay, they really go into that mythology.
It's terrible.
Doesn't sound like a rich vein.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, just the worst.
Weird.
But then we go to one of the most famous horror movies of all time, Carol Kane. You mentioned it before. Yep. When a Stranger Calls. 1979. Carol Kane plays a babysitter who is getting these phone calls.
It's funny to think of Carol Kane young or see Carol Kane young.
I want to watch these movies now because it's hard for me to imagine her.
Not as Grandma Adams.
Not as Grandma Adams, and not.
Is this
as
what made you
Lillian
think of it?
Kaustupper from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, okay.
Where she's great. I really love Carol Kane.
Yeah.
But even like being afraid and then having to like take charge of a moment. Like, it's just not the character she typically portrays.
Right.
Very curious about that. So it's almost a literal film adaptation of the story I read at the beginning of this. With a couple of key differences. This is part of it, but I like the phrasing, so I'm just going to read this. This is normal from what I said before. So the police, when they go like, he's calling from inside the house.
Yeah.
They rush over. They discover that he killed the children before the phone calls even began.
Oh, man. God.
Doesn't that make it worse somehow?
It completely does.
Yeah. Like, this was already a done deal.
Right.
Like, I've been and by the way.
Well, again, it's already a done deal. He wants to lure her up to see it before he kills her. He probably wanted to see the shock on her face.
I never really thought of the chronology to this. I just figured he killed the kids up there at some point
during the phone calls.
The idea that he broke in, killed the kids,
and
was
then
like,
starts calling.
How about I spend a couple hours up here with these dead bodies making phone calls?
Right, screwing around with the babysitter downstairs.
Sitting upstairs with a couple of corpses.
Yeah.
That's what he's been doing the whole time. He's just been up there. It's comfortable to him. He's fine with it.
Right.
Ugh.
That's his spa. That's his island spa and sauna.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Ugh. As far as I can tell, that's the first act of that movie.
Yeah.
The entire story.
What
then happens seems strange to me. They fast forward 7 years?
Oh, okay. I'm surprised to hear that. I really don't remember that.
They caught the guy, and his name is Duncan.
Okay, that's not a very threatening name. Go ahead.
Here he comes.
The killer Duncan.
Gangway.
Yeah.
The family's trying to get him thrown back. He escaped from an asylum. Trying to catch this guy.
Yeah. They really needed to tighten up the reins on asylums in like the 70s.
Oh, they sure do. It's not going so hot for him.
No.
Maybe he was also at the...
It's time to rethink some things.
The Smiths Grove Asylum where Michael Myers was.
Yeah.
This is just 1 year later.
Yeah,
you know, at the
right.
beginning of that movie, they're driving around. They see a bunch of...
maybe he was one of them.
Yeah, maybe every patient that escaped from there went off into their own movie.
Into a different movie,
yeah,
totally.
Yeah. Oh, that's a fun fan theory.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Post that on your Reddits.
Yeah.
So in this 7 years in the future, they're trying to recatch this guy. Now Carol Kane is married and has 2 kids of her own. They go out to Din Din.
Oh, no.
To celebrate a promotion or some summit.
Yeah.
And they get a phone call saying, you should check on the kids.
Oh, God.
He's at her house.
Oh, my God. Does he get the kids?
No.
I don't think so.
He did.
Yeah.
That time it was cool.
Yeah. Was he at the house?
He was. I don't even think he was.
Yeah.
I think that time it was just fine. I don't know.
Just a prank.
Because it gets weirder from here. They made a sequel to this. You know about this?
Well, it sounds like they're trying to have kind of like a Laurie Strode and Michael Myers relationship between Carol Kane and Duncan in that if Duncan is still coming after Carol Kane 7 years later.
Yeah, because they made Duncan v. Julie in 1993.
I don't think I do know about this.
So strange. So strange. So how much time had passed here? 14 years.
Wow.
14 years.
I guess the
have
people
gone
were
by.
calling for it.
So a girl is babysitting and being stalked.
Uh-huh.
There's like a guy, his car breaks down. He asks if she can help him. She goes in. She says that she called his auto club.
Okay.
Immediately, I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I'm already untethered.
Is that something that I'm supposed to be in? What the hell's that? Anyway, that threw me for a loop. Get ready for further loops to come. So she's being stalked. She's spooked. She's real freaked out. It ends up being okay, but now she goes to a therapist who's played by Carol Kane.
Okay.
Julie. Same character.
Yeah.
Julie.
Maybe because I can picture Carol Kane as a therapist. Maybe I know something about this.
She
Anyway.
teaches this girl how to fire a gun in self-defense.
Okay.
Then one of the next sentences is,
Her therapist?
Carol Kane gets a phone call. That girl shot herself. This isn't working out. They didn't even talk about Duncan at all during that. I don't think he had anything to do with it. Oh, wait.
Oh, my God.
There's also a chance Duncan's dead. Hold on. Rewind. Duncan might have died.
What is this movie about?
I think Duncan died in the first one. Spoiler alert.
How did Duncan die?
I don't know, but Duncan checked out. So, so anyway.
Oh, my
now,
God.
all of a sudden, the entire movie's about Carol Kane. Can you believe that?
I think we've talked about Dunstan Checks In on this show before. I think there was something about me asking Alexa what Dunstan Checks In is about, and there was a funny answer, and I talked about it on the show.
Maybe. Maybe he's a future bite-sized Monster Madness.
Maybe.
Dunstan.
Dunstan.
That little devil. That monster.
God.
So now the movie's all about Carol Kane. She's being stalked by someone. There's a lot of theorizing that the killer stalker guy... this is how they're one-upping the original.
Yeah.
The calls were originally coming from inside the house. The new stalker, they think, might be a ventriloquist. And he's in the house, but he's throwing his voice to make it sound like he's outside the house.
Wow.
To make you comfy, but he's really in the house. They theorize that, and then they're right.
Did they have any basis for that theory? Like, was there a suspect who was a known ventriloquist?
I don't want to shock you, but I didn't watch it.
Wow, that's something else.
A hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Then he's stalking Carol Kane around in her house, and Wikipedia tells me that he has makeup that lets him blend into the walls.
Oh my God. What the hell?
So it's kind of like in Hunger Games when Peter can paint his face like a cake to look
That's
like a tree.
something I think about a lot.
Yeah, they should reboot that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The origin
That
of his
part
cake
made me
making skills.
like bust out laughing.
Crazy. And then, yeah, she gets him.
Oh my God.
And the girl survived too, the one who shot herself.
This makes me really
They're
want to
both
see
fine.
this movie.
They're both completely okay.
Man.
At the end of that movie.
That sounds...
Oh, and I don't even know if I told you what the title of it was, because
What?
it wasn't really Duncan v. Julie.
Uh-huh.
It was When a Stranger Calls Back.
Okay. Wait, okay. With When a Stranger Calls Back, is Carol Kane playing an older version of herself, or it's like a cameo thing where it's like, oh, this is a totally different thing, but just Carol Kane was... So it's fun.
No, she's playing her character from the first one.
Okay, so he is calling back. Wait, is it not...
It's a different
not,
stranger.
Wait, it's not Duncan, though.
It's a different stranger.
Wow. What a coincidence.
Yeah, Duncan's gone the way of the dodo.
Yeah. Oh, my God, Will.
Yeah. Boy. They remade this
Wow.
movie as well.
Yeah.
When a Stranger Calls.
Yeah, I never saw that.
2006.
Uh-huh.
The basic premise is that the girl babysitting is only babysitting because her dad's making her do it because she went over on her cell phone minutes. So like phones are part of the plot through and through. You know, every aspect has something to do with a phone.
Oh my God.
And then this I found out actually has ties to earlier versions of the story, but I was still surprised to see it.
Yeah.
In the 2006 movie, she says to the killer on the phone, "What do you want?" And he says, "Your blood, all over me."
Oh, okay.
Lame.
It's really dorky.
But evidently there are some original versions of the story that
Is
had
the
that,
killer's
but
name
it's-
still Duncan?
Who are you?
Duncan.
Duncan. Oh, Shouldn't have told you that.
Is there like Duncan lore out there? Like how there's like, like a whole like Michael Myers Wikipedia universe? Is there like a whole bunch of stuff about Duncan? Are people like really into Duncan?
Maybe. Yeah. America runs on Duncan. They love the guy.
I've made that joke before. That was a very
scamp.
It's a good joke.
Little scamp. And then I'm not going to get too much into it. I just have a section of my notes that just says Scream. And I didn't write anything because I knew that I could just wing it.
I'm about to say, I totally get it. My notes for the VMAs thing were just like, because I knew exactly what all their performances were. I was like, talk about Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that threw me was Jack Black and Pink.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take it away.
Yeah.
But obviously, Scream, especially with its opening with Drew Barrymore, was heavily riffing on the idea of When a Stranger Calls, but with the then distinctly new and modern complication of cell phones.
Yes.
I think we've talked about it on the show before, just even the idea that, like, you don't know where a killer is, but if he's talking to you on the phone, he must be standing next to a table somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right. He
Like,
can't be too far from
Pre-mid-90s, if you were being stalked and taunted by somebody on the telephone,
Yeah.
you knew that they were holding a headset that had the twisty, twirly phone cable to a base.
Right.
They were
He's in
stationary.
a home.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah.
I'm standing still somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Or phone booth, I suppose.
Sure, phone booth. But
Yeah.
either way, he's not going nowhere.
Right.
Scream rightfully pointed out that everything was different now with cell phones.
Yeah.
Am
You'd
I
be
at
calling from anywhere.
Yeah. Which entrance to your house am I at? Am I at the front door or the back door?
Yeah, because that's now a possibility. It
Yeah.
wasn't before.
Because guess what? I could be anywhere.
Yeah.
I also want to point out that furthermore, when Sidney Prescott's being attacked and she calls the police, she runs out the front door into the arms of a cop. It's Dewey.
Yeah.
Even reading the original story of this, when she runs out of the house, when they rush there, the calls coming from inside the house. She runs out front. There are cops just there.
Yeah.
They just did that in Scream as well.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
It's really like sinking their teeth into that original story to get some mileage out of it. Even Scream 4, the opening has 2
Yeah.
girls, much like the variation that has the 2 babysitters.
That's
just
right.
Like, yeah, there are like a million.
Interesting. I wonder if that was intentional. The 2 girls thing. I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Scream 4 is weird because they
Yeah.
even were trying to riff on the first movie.
Right.
And they were originally supposed to be killed the same way that Drew Barrymore and her boyfriend in that
Yeah.
opening were killed, but they cut it
Yeah.
for some reason. So who knows? Who knows
Yeah.
what they were doing? But either way, obviously, I will say no more, but Scream really picked up this torch,
Yeah. Borrows heavily.
carried it to the finish line.
But totally revolutionized the torch
Yep.
and changed everything.
Oh, 100%.
So.
No, they turned that torch
Into a flashlight.
torch.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
A British.
As my fellow Brits would
Oh, my
say.
God.
I've been to the UK.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, no, I know you have. We all know you have. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Guide to the Unknown. Thank you for hanging out with us, you guys. If you want to hang out with us a little bit more throughout the week, then you can find us on social media. We are at GTTU Pod everywhere. You can also join our Facebook group by going to facebook.com/groups/GTTU Pod.
You can also send at Chillin' Kristen your best birthday wishes because if you're listening to this on Friday, it's actually her birthday right this second. So if you didn't do it when I told you to at the beginning of the show, shame on you. Get to it now. Thank you very much.
Thank you in advance.
Yeah, you can also hit up
Yep.
patreon.com/GTTUpod or just look up Guide to the Unknown in the Patreon app to give back
Yep.
a little bit. Go check out American Hysteria. It's a wonderful show. Subscribe to it on Apple Podcasts. Get links to everything on skylarkmedia.com.
Yep.
While you're there, click on Blackwood. Listen to all that show. The entire run is now complete.
Yep.
You can binge the entire thing. And if you have any interest at all, you can talk to us online. I already gave yours away, but say it anyway.
I'm at Chillin' Kristen on Instagram.
I'm at Haunted Sponge.
And also send us your urban legends, any of your favorite urban legends, just for us to enjoy at gttupod@gmail.com.
Just send us scary stuff, you guys.
Yeah.
Just
No, people have
do
sent us some sweet, scary stuff. We still have stuff stocked
know.
up for a listener stories episode.
We do.
So
indeed.
maybe we could put in some urban legends there.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to do a cozy, scary story for the holiday season.
Ooh, I like that idea.
You know? Sit
Yeah,
around
maybe
the
we should
tree,
do
get
that.
Scary.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, they do. I've seen several articles around the internet where they talk about how there used to be a tradition of telling scary stories at Christmas.
Let's embrace that this year.
Let's embrace it. We have
Okay.
listener scary stories.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, so if you want to send us any more of those, gttupod@gmail.com.
Get it going. And once again, I do want to say, little brother, I'm all ears. Why won't you speak to me? Someday I'm going to tell everybody what that is about.
I know.
It's awesome.
Well, you're going to have to kind of learn what it's about.
Yeah, I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, no, send me more weird emails. It was great.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
All right,
Thank you
guys.
all so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week when we sit down again to delve into the deep, dark world of scary stuff. But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to another world. Back to another world. Go we. Goodbye.
If you play that backwards, it's
Ooh, yeah.
very scary.
It's me saying, I love Satan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ka-ching!
Go out there, hook it, pull it back. Thanks, guys. Zoop.
That was great. That was a fun show.
Yeah, totally.
That was a damn fun show, everybody.
Thanks for hanging out, dudes.
Let's just see real quick. I saw the chat popping off. I was really glad everybody was talking to each other.
Yeah, it's awesome.
At times we had like the number of people watching always fluctuates.
Yeah.
Of course, but like it was great.
Yeah,
We had
that's
17
awesome.
people hanging out with us right
Hey
now.
guys,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Hi.
Yeah, we really hope that you all enjoyed the show.
Cool.
That was super fun.
That's great.
The Illuminati. What about that?
Whew.
Real crazy.
Some real stuff.
Yeah. Eric says that Carol Kane sounds like a terrible therapist.
Yeah, that's horrible. Like, what therapist teaches you how to use a gun?
Yeah. That didn't seem good.
Somebody who's going to therapy, maybe ostensibly for some issues that they're trying to work out.
Yeah. I don't know. Take this gun.
Yeah,
Here's 5 minutes of training.
right. Go
See you
forth.
later.
Yeah.
See you later. Cool, everybody.
Cool.
Hey, that was a damn good time.
Yeah, thank you so much for hanging out.
Yeah.
I hope you guys had fun.
Absolutely. So I think that we will see you in the future. Check out Guide to the Unknown previous shows if you have not seen it before. The show that we recorded tonight is going to be out on Friday on all major podcast apps with a more official version uploaded here on youtube.com/talkbomb. But yeah, have a good spooky evening, everybody.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, have a good night, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.